So welcome to this week's video. Today I've come out to have a look at trying to catch some red deer, and what a difference in the weather. Yesterday and the day before, bright sunshine, really calm. I went to Farnington Marshes and had a real success there with the short-eared owls. Really pleased with that. I primarily went to doing some pictures, but I did take a little bit of video. Whether I use it in this video or not, I'm uncertain. But so I did manage to meet another videographer, which I was really pleased about. We had a good chat whilst we were standing there waiting for the short-eared owls to show, and we were chatting about a film that he'd done, which took him over 5 years, on dippers, and I sort of committed to him that I'd watch it on his channel. So I've put a little description, hopefully in this video here, for you can have a look, because it was absolutely, well, inspirational really for me. I mean, it's quite the sort of beginning of my journey in respect to doing videoing, and to see some sort of real professional work. Like I say, inspirational. So yeah, big shout out. Definitely have a look at his channel if you can, and do a subscribe and whatnot. That'd be fabulous. And then, like I say, I had a quick look around at some other stuff. The first time we met was for the red deer rut, and he's got the rut on there. So yeah, really pleased. So definitely do that. So today, like I say, really overcast. It was lacing with rain when I first got here. It's now a bit misty. The weather forecast is to be slightly better later on in the day. So see what comes. I'm going to have a little look around and come over to the sort of quieter part, walking through the woods, overlooking a couple of some heathland, just to see whether we can track the red deer. So yeah, let's see what comes. So I arrived here pretty much at dawn and spent about 2.5 hours walking around. Managed to avoid the bulk of the rain by sort of sheltering the car at one point. So I was quite pleased when I saw these stags just leaving the woods and entering into this clearing. With the rut finished, the clashes of antlers seem to be much more sedate. I wonder whether they're trying to get the last bit of use out of them before the process of renewal starts shortly. So I was uncertain here whether he was rubbing his antlers against these branches or whether he was trying to access some food, but you certainly get the impression that although they're quite impressive, these antlers, they look quite awkward in certain instances. was hoping it might brighten up a little bit, but it hasn't done so. It looks as if they're all sat down. A couple of minutes ago they had a little bit of a walk round. So I don't know if I'm going to improve on the footage I've got so far. It's nearly midday, so I'll probably stop for some lunch. I would have my normal coffee. About halfway down his knees, phoned me up in the car and said, "You've left it at home." And it's just like, no. So I've got some food but nothing to drink, so whether I decide to move on somewhere else and pick up some drink, I don't know, or whether I just sit it out here. Yeah. But pretty good. I'm glad I caught them. It was about 11 all told. So yeah, it's been a really good morning, despite the rain. I spent a couple of hours observing them, which was really quite relaxing. And once I finished my lunch, I thought I'd try and move back into the woods a few hundred yards and circle round to see if I could get a slightly better viewpoint. As I was travelling through the woods, I came across this fallen tree, and you can see how the stags have aggressively scraped pretty much all of the bark off. But I would presume it was used earlier in the year in the summer, as they were sort of shedding their velvet or using it to help shed the velvet. It doesn't seem to have any fresh signs of use, but you can definitely tell that it's quite a favourite tree. From this angle I can count about 16 stags. They would have been pretty active throughout the night, and most active at sort of dawn and dusk. And they spend most of their day sleeping, which for deer is more like a dozing, really. They're always constantly alert, using their sense of and smell and their hearing to alert them of any threats. They sort of go through little bursts of sleep from sort of about 30 seconds to several minutes. Almost like a cycle, and they do that for about 30 to 45 minutes. Then they'll sort of stand up and have a little stretch, maybe relieve themselves, and sit back down and go through that whole process again. They obviously feel quite safe here. There's a good field of view in front of them to warn of any threats, and they've got a little bit of cover at the back of them, and they've got sort of quite a few different entrances and exits in case they get disturbed. As the afternoon drew closer to dusk, I wanted to move back round to my original position, because as they became more active I was uncertain which direction they would travel, and I didn't want to disturb them. With the rut finished, it appears as if this particular stag is relieving some of the frustration on one of his peers, who doesn't seem to be overly enamoured by the situation. I'll finish the video with a view of the first bit of wildlife I saw as I was walking around early in the morning. This buzzard, presumably on one of his favourite posts, although I might not have been overly enamoured by the weather, it appears as if he's not particularly worried at all. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe, and fingers crossed for some drier weather next week, where I hope you can join me.